Hey there, welcome to Listings Reviews. This is my video for 5 shows in 2022 I'm really excited to watch, and 3 I'm not so much excited to watch. So there's a ton of shows that I'm going to end up watching in 2022 because all of my usual franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, are having a ton of content this year. Plus there's a bunch of other stuff coming out that I want to watch. So I'm going to talk about the shows out of those that I'm excited for and not excited for. So I'm going to start actually in the reverse order of the title. And I'm going to start with the 3 shows that I'm not so excited for. Now, to be clear, these are all 3 shows I'm going to watch. So it's not about shows out there that I have no interest in watching whatsoever. That would be a very long list. Now, these are shows that either belong to franchises that I watch, like one of the ones I just mentioned, or perhaps just a show that I've watched every season of, and so I just feel obligated to continue watching it, but I'm just not excited for them, and I have very, very low expectations for them. But you know what? That's what I felt about Hawkeye last year. I had low expectations for it. I didn't think it was going to be good. And then when the trailer came out, I thought the trailer sucked, and I really thought the show was going to suck. And then I really enjoyed it. So who knows? Maybe one of these 3 shows I'm about to name could be the next Hawkeye. It could surprise me. But I'm talking about right now, sitting right now here looking at these 3 shows. I am not excited for them, and I have very low expectations for them. So let me go ahead and dive into those. Okay, so the first show on my list of shows that I'm not that excited for in 2022 is Stranger Things Season 4, or Stranger Things 4, as they like to call it, because they like to pretend that it's movies. But you know what? I like Stranger Things. It's fine. I don't think it's as great as everyone else seems to think it is. It's not the greatest thing since sliced bread for me, but I do enjoy it. The reason why it's on this list is because I really feel like they have run out of story. To be fair, I felt that way after season 1. I felt like it was a self-contained 1-season show, and season 2 really surprised me. And then season 3 was good too. I enjoyed it. I did start to see where they were starting to repeat some of the same story beats, and then season 3 ends with the teased return of the Demogorgon, and I really think they're just going to end up repeating the same story beats over and over again. Honestly, this just feels like a cash grab. It feels like they don't have any story left, but they don't care because they know they can make money off of it. And maybe I'm wrong. This season could surprise me, much as Stranger Things Season 2 once did. But if I am not wrong, if they do end up just repeating the same story beats over and over, then this will be the last season of Stranger Things that I personally watch, even if they continue to crank out seasons in order to try to milk that cash cow. The next show on my list of shows that I'm not that excited for is Star Wars Andor. So the obvious question here is, why? Why are they doing this? So I have another question. Does anyone out there, anyone at all, do you recall watching Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and thinking to yourselves, you know what I really need to see is some backstory of this Andor dude. Like, I really need to see that. I really want that. Who said that? No one. No one said that. So why are they doing this show? I don't know. This is a pretty common opinion. I think I've heard this from a lot of other people. And I actually watched a video on one of my go-to YouTube channels for Star Wars content where she was making the case that maybe we're all wrong. Maybe Andor is going to have some surprises for us. It's going to connect to characters we're not expecting. It's going to connect to storylines we're not expecting. And it's going to be a lot more interesting. And maybe it'll be a lot better than we're expecting. I'm pretty skeptical on that. But you never know. Maybe Andor will end up being the next Hawkeye. We shall see. And the last show on my list of shows I'm not that excited for in 2022 is House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel that will cover the Targaryens. Now, this might be a little bit unfair toward this show, because the main reason that I'm not excited for this is because of the awful taste that is left in my mouth from the ending of the Game of Thrones series. Now, this is completely different showrunners. This is not Dan and Dave. So the new showrunners definitely have an opportunity to erase that bad taste, to erase that stench, that awful stench of the Game of Thrones ending. But they're going to have their work cut out for them. I'm being honest. They're going to really have to scrub hard to clean off that awful stench left over from season 8 of Game of Thrones. And I'm not saying they won't do it. I really hope that they do. I really hope that they do pull it off. I really did actually enjoy Fire and Blood, and I am really interested in the story that they're going to be covering, but I'm skeptical. Hopefully it will prove me wrong, and I actually do think of these 3 shows that this one does have the best chance to prove me wrong, but we shall see. Okay, now let me go ahead and switch over to a more positive note and talk about 5 shows that I am excited for. And the way I decided to do this is to not repeat in a franchise. So franchises like Marvel, Star Trek, Star Wars, etc. I will only pick one show from each of those franchises for this video, and then a couple of other things too, because there's 5 of them. So without further ado, let's get into the 5 shows for 2022 that I am most excited for. Okay, the first show that I want to talk about that I'm excited for in 2022 is Marvel's SheHulk. Out of all the Marvel shows we know about in 2022, this is definitely the one I am most excited for. I used to really love reading the SheHulk comics. By my memory, they were more lighthearted, more fun, but with the serious side too. I mean, SheHulk was still kicking ass and fighting villains and that sort of thing, but I remember her being kind of like witty and sarcastic and dropping jokes. And I remember the tone of the story sometimes being a little more lighthearted. And we saw this trailer, like teaser trailer, a couple months ago where there's this scene with her and Mark Ruffalo in like 1970s outfits going, "Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry." And I'm like, what is that all about? But it does make me think that the show may adopt some of that humor from the comics. And I think it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see what She-Hulk actually looks like, since we haven't really seen her yet. I am super excited to see this show. Next show I'm really excited for, getting back to the Star Wars franchises. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Or is it called Star Wars Kenobi? I don't know. I've seen both of them. This logo says Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I'm going with that. Anyways, it's the show that, of course, is going to star Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And, well, what girl doesn't want to see Ewan McGregor on screen again? Let's be real. But beyond that, it's interesting that it's going to be covering the years when he's on Tatooine. Now, obviously he's going to have to leave off world, so I'm a little bit concerned about how they're going to retcon things a little bit, how things are going to fit into canon, especially since apparently he's going to face Darth Vader, and I really didn't think that they had seen each other between episode 3 and 4. I thought that was pretty clear in episode 4. However, I trust that they're going to do a good job with this show, and I am super duper really excited to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. Alec Guinness was great, but Ewan McGregor really took on that role and made it something great, and he was the best part of the prequels, so I am definitely looking forward to this one. Next show I'm really excited for is Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The best part of Discovery Season 2. Anson Mount as Captain Pike and Ethan Peck as Spock, And then also throwing in Rebecca Romaine as number one, who we did see a little bit in Discovery Season 2 and some of the Star Trek shorts as well. But the chemistry between these three is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to see it on screen. And I'm going to say something controversial. I think Ethan Peck is a way better Spock than Zachary Quinto. Zachary Quinto is a fine actor. He was way too emotional for Spock. And Ethan Peck did portray a little bit more of an emotional Spock, but it was a younger Spock, so it made sense. And we're going to see him evolve into the more logical figure that he is in the original series. Again, like with Obi-Wan, I'm a little worried about running up against canon, but I do trust that they will do a fantastic job with these characters, and I really cannot wait to see it. Next show I'm excited for is The Wheel of Time Season 2, the only Season 2 included on this list. I really quite enjoyed Season 1, and I also enjoyed rereading Book 1, which I hadn't read in a while, and I do plan to reread at least books 2 and 3 by the time Season 2 comes on. And I'm just really happy to be re-immersed in this world again after not having read the books for about 20 years prior to this. So I'm super excited to see this show. Now, it hasn't been absolutely confirmed that it'll be on in 2022, but from what I understand, unless something unforeseen happens, it should be on schedule to air around the same time it did in 2021, like the November, December area, somewhere around there. And I hope that is true because I'm really excited about seeing this second season. Now, I have mentioned in my other videos that I do feel like there's some kinks that Season 2 needs to work out from Season 1, but I have every confidence that it will do so, and it will make it that much better of a show. So I cannot wait to see where this story goes next. And the last show that I want to talk about, I'm super excited for in 2022, is the untitled Lord of the Rings type show on Amazon Prime. Or at least I think this is definitely coming out in 2022. Originally it was supposed to come out in 2021, but was delayed because of COVID. But I do believe we should see it sometime this year. And I have been anticipating this show since I first heard about it in 2019. So the excitement is real. Though, just as I said with House of the Dragon being the show on my not excited for list, having the best chance to be good, I think this one has the best chance on my excited for list to suck. Just because we really don't know that much about it. We know there's a prequel set way before the trilogy that we know, and it's going to have completely different characters. But it could really go either way for all I know. It could be amazing and blow me away, just as the Lord of the Rings films did, or it could just be a huge honking disappointment. But regardless of which way it goes, the fact of the matter is that right now, I am super excited to see it, and I'm really curious to see what they do with the Lord of the Rings franchise for this show. And there you have it, the shows that I am excited for and not so excited for in 2022. Please share with me your shows that you are excited for or not excited for in the comments below. Also, make sure you like and definitely do subscribe if you are not already subscribed. And I will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.